Hey, party people. Long time and no chat. So, you hear how crisp and clear and great this sound quality is? Well, don't get used to it, because unfortunately, your host, whoever that foolish woman is, forgot to select the right mic during the recording of this episode. Therefore, this sound is not the greatest. However, thank you to the gods at Riverside, I was able to enhance the audio a bit, so it's not horrible, but it's not great. So, hopefully you can get through this episode. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully you'll stick around. I also want to say, this episode we talk about Love Island, and this episode was recorded on Wednesday, June 25th, so some opinions may be outdated, probably not many, but some may, and this takes place pre-Casa recoupling, so do with that what you will. All right, let's get this party started. Be who you are, for you are Pride. Happy Pride, bitches. Happy. Let me move this mic, Joe. Happy Pride to all my girls, gays, and theys. Woo! Y'all can't, if you're an audio listener, I'm moving this mic. Hopefully this isn't too disturbing. For all my audio listeners, you can't see this, but I'm waving my flag, waving my bisexual flag. Oh my God, did I just come out on my podcast? Well, I just came out to you guys because unless you are a video watcher and you have good eyes, because it's kind of hidden, my flag, I've never addressed my sexuality on this podcast. So, woo! But happy Pride, you guys. I know, like, June is pretty much over, but it's been a whirlwind of a week. It's been a whirlwind of the last few weeks, to be quite honest with you. So I'm so sorry that it's been 3 weeks since we last spoke. I did not abandon you guys. I'm just a girl who can only do so much with so much time. Like, there's so much to do, so little time, and this is just where we are. But better late than never, because a girl like me, sometimes if I fall off the wagon for too long on something, I never come back to it. So give me some grace. Give me some, what is the word I'm looking for? Give me, just be happy we're here. Okay. Just be happy we're here. I'm sorry that I've been MIA for a little bit, but we are back and we're better than ever. Now, I know some of you guys are probably expecting a different episode than what you're getting right now. But schedules change, things change. And oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun waving my flag right now. Video watchers are going to be like, what is wrong with this girl? Because I'm just waving the hell out of my flag. Like, woo! I love this month. The best part about being Black, a woman, and bisexual is that I get 3 separate months to rub my minorityness in your face. My minorityness. Yep. We just need to make a No I'm Obsessed dictionary. I should do that for every episode where I just come up with my own insane or stupid word. I just add it to the dictionary. So what words do we have right now? I can't, my memory's so bad I can't even think about it. But right now, we're gonna start right now. Minorityness is the first word of the No I'm Obsessed dictionary. So minorityness. Definition implied. The ness of your minority. So, anywho, the best part about being all 3 of those things is that I get 3 months. I get February, Black History Month, March, Women's History Month, and June, Pride Month. It's giving greedy, period. And that's how it should be, because women deserve it all, especially Black queer women, period. But as I was saying, I know you guys were probably expecting the Ashley episode, and that is still coming. It's recorded. It is
mostly edited, but I wanted to talk about some things that I felt like were kind of timely. And that interview is not super timely because it's not promoting anything. It's just a nice conversation. So here we are. You guys will get that and you'll get it when you get it. No, you'll get it next week. And for now, you're just stuck with me. Sorry, not sorry. You should be happy regardless. Seriously, like, I feel like sometimes I get on this mic and I sound like an asshole, but I swear I am not. It's just jokes. It's just fun stuff. I'm just chatting. But no, you get me today, so hopefully that's enough. And next week we will be back with Ashley Ricards. So with that said, you guys have not heard the episode yet, so I don't want to like debrief it because essentially it would be like not a spoiler, but you wouldn't have the context of the interview. So it's like it wouldn't really make sense to talk about it. So we will talk about that not next week, but the following week. But back to Pride. I know June is pretty much freaking over. And so I'm late with, the celebrations of things, but better late than never. But on a very serious note, like, happy Pride to my people. I'm obviously like the community and like acceptance of the community has come a long way, but there's still so much work to do. There's still so much more to accomplish. There's still so much hate out there, unfortunately. And so just take this month, run with it, be your queerest, gayest, happiest self. Just be who you are for your pride. Like, seriously, like, she was, rest in peace to that queen. Ugh, rest in peace to her. She gave us the Pride Month national anthem. Like, God, rest in peace to her. But yes, happy Pride to my peoples, to my girls, gays, and theys. Live your best life this month. Be extra gay. Be extra gay in front of homophobes. Actually, no, keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe because people are horrible. So keep yourself safe, but bask in your I have my fan going. Hopefully you guys cannot hear this. I live in California and AC is expensive, so we don't keep the AC on very often, and so it'd be hot as hell. So I have to have this fan on, or I'd be sweating like a pig, and no one wants to see that. So hopefully you guys can't hear this. I said that because the fan is like waving the flag, which is so like cute. Audio listeners, you guys miss out on some of the fun, but it's okay. You can see it in your head, I'm sure. But yes, happy Pride. Enjoy these last week and a half of it. Live your life, live your best life, do your big one. Be gayer than you've ever been in your entire freaking life. I think it would have been fun to like tell my coming out story, but I don't really have one because I didn't really need to make it a big deal. It was just kind of like I realized it and that was kind of it. One day my mom asked if I was bisexual or if I was no, one day my mom asked if I was gay. And I was like, no, I'm not gay, but I am bisexual. And it was very anticlimactic, nothing special. So not even gonna waste your time trying to tell that entire story. Moving on. I think this low key is going to be a shorter episode because I have stuff to talk about, but not like a plethora of things to talk about. So I'm feeling like this episode could be about 45 minutes, which thank God. I love talking to you guys, I really do, but editing episodes that are like an hour and a half sometimes my episodes are like 2 hours by the time I'm done recording, sometimes 2.5, and it takes me forever to edit. And I really want to get this episode out. Like, I'm recording here today on a Wednesday. I would love to get this to you guys literally tomorrow. But if it's a 2.5 hour episode, that's not going to happen. Obviously, it would get cut down to like an hour, 15, hour and a half. But regardless, it wouldn't happen. So I'm hoping that I can keep this kind of short and simple, maybe like a 45-minute, hour max, and get this to you guys tomorrow. That would be fun. That would be cutesy. But we'll see how it goes because I'll say I don't have much to say and then I'll get to yapping. And then before I know it, it's been 2, 3 hours. So we'll see where the chips fall, how the cookie crumbles. how things play out, all of those cliches. Throwback. Do y'all remember the first episode? The cliche debacle? Oh my gosh, audio listeners. I mean, video watchers, can look at my cup. Chick-fil-A, I love you. This cup is everything. It's a cow print cup for everyone who can't see. And you guys know how I feel about cups. You guys know how I feel about cups. You guys know how I feel about cows. I love cows. I love them. I love them so much. When I keep this paper cup and it's like melting, it's like paper thin and the drink is leaking out of it, but I won't throw it away because it's cow print. That's literally going to be me. Anywho, it's Chop City over here, you guys. Video watchers, I'm so sorry that this is what you have to look at right now. Audio listeners, consider yourself marked safe. Marked safe from Chop City. Because it's Chop City today. We're in the land of Chop. We're in the nation of Choplandia. The national dish is Chop Suey. It's Chop Central, Chop City, Choplandia over here, okay? And some people may argue I look like this on every episode. Some of you may argue that I look like this at every episode, but I beg to differ. I usually have my little pony, my little beauty supply store pony. I have a little necklace going, a little earring. But today's been a day, okay? Actually, it's been a few weeks. Like these weeks have been some weeks. And I had to get here. I had to get here. Even if it meant looking a mess while I got here, I had to show up. And sometimes you have to show up at like 50% just so you show up instead of trying to force yourself to show up at 100 and then you don't show up at all. I just dropped some more wisdom on y'all. I need to start charging for this. Y'all are getting gems and I'm just giving them away for free. No, but like seriously, it was either I come here looking like President of Chop Central or I don't show up at all. And I have, even if nobody else is listening to this, I know there are at least 3 people who do. And they've been asking me about episodes. So I want to make sure that at least they are getting something from me. And, you know, anyone else who listens, I want to make sure that you are getting something. So I'm here, audio listeners. Most people do listen to audio. I check the stats. I check the analytics because I do that. As a podcaster, you have to check your analytics. Um, and the analytics say a lot of y'all listen audio. So it truly doesn't matter. And honestly, I only do video so I can reformat it for social content. So it truly doesn't even matter. The only people who are going to see it is like the worldwide internet. The only people who are going to see it is whoever watches the TikToks and the Instagrams. So it is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta look like shit. And today we just look like shit. So yeah, there's that. If you hate it, well, I don't know. Let's turn it off. Show up to Spotify or pull up Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you don't have to look at me. I don't know what to tell you. You're lucky I didn't show up in my moo because I was this close to showing up in my I almost showed up in my cow print moo. Okay. But I said, you know, we're still getting to know each other. We're still on the honeymoon phase. And so I felt like I could not show up like that yet. Maybe in a few months. Maybe once we're well acquainted and we know each other a little bit well. Once we hit that 90-day mark, maybe. Then I might show up here in my moo and my bonnet. Then we're really comfortable. They were really comfortable. That's like the the humiliation ritual. I'm showing up here in my moo and my bonnet. But we're not there yet. So we're Chop City, but we move. I'm here and that's what matters. I also need you guys to bear with me because Aunt Flo, I have company this week. Aunt Flo is here. And so I'm a little my equilibrium is just a little bit off. And so I don't even know what that voice was. I really don't. I'm feeling so delusional right now, you guys. I don't know what it is about when I get in front of this mic, I start feeling real delusional. It's like, is that a mental thing? Like, what's that about? What's that about? There needs to be a study on what podcast mics do to you. Because when you think about it, I've never met a normal podcaster. Never. Never. There's a science behind this. It's like the the 5G Bluetooth rays coming from the mic. They make you a little bit crazy. They make you just a bit insane, just a tad. That was really shitty. That was really bad. I'm so sorry. That was a horrible accent. But they do make you a tad bit crazy. Or maybe maybe when the podcast mic comes out, the real me comes out. I really don't have an answer. I'm just guesstimating here. You guys, I miss Sims so bad. And don't ask me how we got here, like how we segued here, but I miss it so bad. You guys don't understand what Sims means to me. I've been a Sims girl since 7th grade. I have played it religiously my entire life. A couple years ago, my Sims laptop broke. And let me tell you, first of all, Sims it's a lifestyle. It truly is a lifestyle. And the Sims girlies, they understand. Like, you it's not just like having a laptop and you're playing Sims with the expansion packs and that's it. No. You have to curate your environment for Sims, okay? Like, I have to have my TV on, but it can't be too loud and it can't be anything that I have to pay attention to because I have to pay attention to my Sims needs. I have to pay attention to the Simlish that they're speaking. I have to pay attention to making sure nothing's crashing. I have to make sure that my kids aren't drowning themselves in the pool. I have to make sure there's so much that goes into being a Sims parent, a Sims girl. And it's a lifestyle. I was so deeply engrossed in that lifestyle. And up until I was about 22, I played it religiously. Some years back, my Sims laptop broke. It broke. And that was heartbreak for me. That was truly when that laptop broke, a part of me did. I died. A part of me died, truly. So I put it on my MacBook and I started downloading some content, and then that dreaded alert, that dreaded notification about system storage low. It happened. It happened. And I'm sorry, the girls who know, you cannot play Sims with just the expansion packs. You cannot play Sims without CC and mods. It's just, first of all, if you play Sims without CC and mods, you're a lunatic. You are a deranged sociopath who needs to have a lobotomy because that's just not a way to play. I'm sorry, no shade, Electronic Arts. Sims is what it is because of your modders. And I'm sure at this point they know that. You cannot play Sims without CC and mods. If you do, you need to go to jail. It's just that simple. Because you are a threat to society and no one knows what you are capable of. If you are capable of playing Sims without mods and CC, you're capable of murder. And I stand by that. That is scientifically proven. Don't ask me which science proved it. I just told you that it's scientifically proven. And if you don't believe me, you hate Black women. And I said what I said. But yeah, I can't play Sims without CC. So if I didn't have the room for CC, I was like, I'm not going to play Sims at all. So I took Sims off of my MacBook, and that's been like maybe like 2 years, 3 years, 2 to 3 years at this point. And I haven't played Sims. My aunt is a Sims girl. I put her on, but she has surpassed me when it comes to the love of Sims at this point. But she sometimes used to let me, before I moved, she would let me play Sims on her laptop, but obviously she can't let me borrow her laptop from Virginia and I'm in California, so there's that. So it's been some time since I played Sims and I am just really feeling it. I miss Sims so much that I'm thinking about downloading it on. I'm thinking about downloading on. I'm like getting sick thinking of. I'm getting sick thinking about this. I'm thinking about downloading Sims on PlayStation. On PlayStation. That's heinous to me. That is like bottom of the barrel, nasty, dirty, heathen behavior playing Sims on the PlayStation. Because you can't download CC custom content. Like I said, like that's criminal behavior. And I don't want to be a criminal. Like I feel like I'm like an upstanding citizen. And I just feel like playing Sims on the PlayStation is just like it's like betrayal. Like it's like betrayal to my country. Well, let me not say that. It's just like betrayal to my morals, to like the oath I took as a simmer. Like, how is that right? It's not right. It can't. But it's so bad. I just miss it. Like, I feel like part of my soul is gone. Like, I haven't felt like a whole person probably since like 2024, 2023, whenever the last time I had Sims on my computer or had a working computer for Sims. Like, I just don't feel like myself. Sometimes I feel like my personality is just like being on a Molotov cocktail of drugs. But I'm literally not on drugs. I feel like when I'm like at my truest form, I feel like it's a person who is on like crack, a little bit of shrooms, maybe a sniff of coke, and then like they popped an Adderall. Well, no, because Adderall kind of subdues you. And I feel like when I'm at my truest self, I'm not subdued in the slightest. So yeah, maybe like some coke, a little bit of heroin, and like some shrooms, and then maybe like they took an ecstasy, like they took some X. I don't know what any of those drugs are like except shrooms. But that's just what I feel like my personality is like. But yeah, the idea of playing Sims on my PlayStation feels like a crime. And I don't have all the expansion packs on. I would have to buy all of those all over again. And who the hell is doing that? Nobody. Which means that I would have to play the base game of Sims on the PlayStation. And that feels like I'm a prisoner of war. Like that would feel like I'm a prisoner of war. And I'm not explaining that any further. So I don't know, you guys. I'm in a rock and a hard place. I can either continue to suffer without Sims or I could suffer and play Sims on the PlayStation. So it's like, regardless, I'm suffering. It's just like picking the type of suffering you choose to do. What kind of Sims players are y'all? And I'm asking this like y'all can answer me this right now, but like I need to know for my Sims players, like what kind of Sims players are y'all? Do y'all have, are y'all modders? Are y'all CC girlies? Like, what are y'all's favorite mods? Let me tell you, there are certain mods that you cannot play Sims without, and I'm gonna tell you what mine are, and it should be all of y'all's too, to be quite honest. Wicked Winds. You should have known that was coming first. You should have known. OG Simmers, no. Wicked Whims is a mod you just simply cannot play without. Does it make you a nasty, deviant freak? Yes, it does. It does. But such is life, okay? Such is fucking life. You cannot play Sims without Wicked Whims because it's not just it's not just sex that you get with Wicked Whims. Like you get periods, you get fertility, you get birth control, you get, you know, um, everything. You cannot play Sims without Wicked Whims, okay? And that's law. Like go to jail if you're playing Sims without Wicked Whims. Another one, base mental drugs. Yep, I need the weed. I need the coke. I need the MDMA. I need the Molly. I need the alcohol. I need the drug dealers. I need the drug busts. I need all of it. We're like life is imitating art or art is imitating life here, okay? I need it all. Okay? I need to be able to call up my local drug dealer, invite him to my home so he can supply me with my Molotov cocktail of drugs. And then I need for my Sims to be able to smoke a blunt with their children, with their teenagers. I need them to be able to sit on the couch and pass the blunt back and forth to their teenager, okay? Because we get corrupt in my game, okay? It's corrupt. Because who wants to play Sims and just live a cookie cutter boring life? No, the purpose of Sims is to do shit you cannot do in real life. To a limit. Let's preface there, to a limit. Sharing drugs with your kids is cool. We don't do anything else past that. We do a little bit of cheating. We do some cheating. We do sometimes even a little bit of prostitution. We do some drug dealing. We do some prostitution. We do some smoking with your family. We do what else we do? We do some group stuff, if what I'm getting at. I'm sure you can imply what I'm getting at. Wicked Whims is really handy for that. It gets rowdy in Sims. It truly does, and that's why you cannot play Sims without these mods because otherwise it's cookie cutter boring, and you're kind of just like trying to keep them alive, but there's nothing to make it fun to keep them alive. No shade to EA, to Electronic Arts, because before I discovered mods, I was still like having fun. But it truly, once you play with mods, you can't. There's no going back. There's truly no going back, and it's just hard out here. Like, it's hard out here. I miss it so bad. Moving on. Let's do a movie debrief. It's been about 3 weeks since we last talked movies, and I've seen 5 movies since then. So, honestly, I would say there's gonna be a lot here, but there truly really isn't because I wasn't super impressed with, like, any of these movies except, like, 1. So it's not really gonna be I don't wanna say it's a nothing burger, but it's like a barely burger. So let's start with Scary Movie. Scary Movie. Ah! Child, if I didn't have the Regal Movie Pass, I probably would have asked for my money back. Um, and I swear this is not meant to be like I'm not a movie critic. I'm not a movie critic. And I'm not here to pretend that I am. I'm here to give my opinions. My opinions. And that movie was horrible. That movie was bad. Like, there is quite literally like no way to sugarcoat that. That movie was so bad. And this is someone who I love the Wayans brothers, like White Chicks, Dance Flick, A Haunted House. But this movie was just bad. It's like it was, and I can, the fact that I can talk about this movie without giving spoilers, I feel like is a testament to it being bad because usually I feel like it's hard for me to talk about movies without spoilers because I want to talk about them. But I can talk about this truly without spoilers. It just was not good. The the whole marketing aspect around it and like the whole like idea that they were like canceling cancel culture. I don't even want to spend too much time there because you guys haven't heard the episode yet, but when I was talking to Ashley Ricards, I was telling her that like I enjoy offensive humor. Like I am a girl who enjoys offensive humor. Sorry. I've never been one to get offended by the Wayans brothers because, oh, I do have my necklace on. I thought I took this thing off. Um, I've never been one to be well, not that's not true. But like I can recognize when like something is like simply just like comedy usually, unless it just feels like you're just like punching down. Then that's where I'm like, okay, you can be funny without being an asshole. But like when you're just being just like offensive and you're hitting everyone and not just one particular group, that doesn't bother me. Like I'm cool with offensive humor. The offensive humor wasn't really even that offensive and it wasn't funny. It was just like, yeah, let's make a trans joke. Yeah, let's make a gay joke. Yeah. Like the jokes weren't landing. It wasn't landing. The comedic timing was just not good. There were moments where you could just tell they thought it was going to get like a loud laugh out of the theater and it just didn't work. It didn't work. I think they were so focused on like canceling cancel culture that it just felt forced. Like it felt like the intention was that they were trying to make you like trying to have a go at cancel culture. It's like when you can do that authentically and just naturally, that is more impressive than when you're making jokes and it's like, yeah, fuck cancel culture, you know? And this, like I said, this is no disrespect to the Wayans brothers. They're obviously legends and they have plenty of other movies in their filmography that, makes up for the bullshit that was Scary Movie, that was this Scary Movie. So this should be like no dirt off their shoulder. Is that the saying? No, it's no dirt off my shoulder. You know, sometimes you have to like say things to like sound to hear if it makes sense. I don't know if that's the right phrase. I don't care. It is today. Adding that to the dictionary. No dirt off my shoulder. Um, if that's not the phrase. Is that the phrase? Actually, I do care. Let me look this up real quick. Oh, I guess it's kind of. I guess what I'm no skin off my back is what I meant. Whatever. They should be able to like wipe it off. Like it. And first of all, I'm nobody, so my opinion truly doesn't even matter. I'm just a bitch who like to talk, and so my opinion truly does not even matter. And visual watchers, I'm scratching my thigh. I feel like I always have to preface. I'm not over here being gross. I'm scratching my thigh. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I felt like the comedy was just not comedy. It wasn't comedic. I went with some friends to see it, and I feel like between the three of us, maybe each of us laughed maybe twice. And that is unfortunate. And it's unfortunate because one of my friends that I went with hadn't seen any of the scary movies. And I remember we were walking out of the theater and we were like, so you have to go watch the first two so you can get a better understanding of the scary movies because this was not good. This was not the way that you should be introduced to the franchise. But it was fun to see the Wayans back on the big screen. It was fun. I'm glad they got to take back the franchise from He Who Shall Not Be Named because, that's their franchise. It's their blood, sweat, and tears, and they deserve to take that back. And so, if not for nothing else, I'm glad they made it for that reason alone. But outside of that, they could have kept it. They could. I would have taken White Chicks 2 over this scary movie because it just didn't land. It felt like, in a way, I kind of feel like it was a few years too late. Like some of the trans jokes was just like, okay, these are jokes that we've heard at least 10 other times. Maybe if you gave this to us like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, it would have landed a little better. But it just felt outdated, like outdated jokes, outdated comedy. I also think like it's fun sometimes when you can lean into the nostalgia, but when you're leaning too heavily into the nostalgia and it's like riding the back of nostalgia and that's all it has going for it, then it just doesn't work. You just find yourself comparing it to the originals and it's like, okay. So that's my take on Scary Movie. Like I said, I'm nobody. Would not have paid to I'm glad I didn't like I said, I'm glad I did not pay to see it because I would have been even more unimpressed. I would have been irritated, in fact. So once again, shout out to the Regal Movie Pass. Honestly, the Regal Movie Pass is the reason why I will see literally anything because I feel like I'm seeing shit for free. Well, not feel like I am seeing shit for free. So I'm not wasting my money. I'm just like, all right, well, no dirt off my back. No, fuck. No skin off my back. Fuck. Why are these sayings like beating my ass right now? What did I give it on Letterboxd? I don't have my Letterboxd open right now. I think I gave it 2 stars out of 5. So what else did I see? Power Ballad. Power Ballad, that movie with Nick Jonas, Paul Rudd. That movie was a big nothing burger. I feel like Power Ballad is like a movie that would be in a movie. And I can't really even explain that very well. I just feel like if you've seen it, then you'll probably understand what I'm talking about, but maybe not because sometimes I'm just talking. But I feel like in my head and in the land of and in Choplandia, in the land of No I'm Obsessed, that makes sense. But it feels like a movie that would be in a movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't particularly a great movie, you know? It didn't leave me like thinking much about anything. I didn't have any questions. I didn't have any like moments. Like there was nothing. I didn't walk away from it feeling anything. I feel like when the credits rolled and I walked out of the theater, I was just like, okay, I saw a movie. You know, like I haven't thought about the movie since I left the theater. I haven't thought about the characters. I haven't thought about like the storyline. I haven't thought about anything about the movie. In fact, I almost forgot the name of it. I had to look the name up while I was like going down the list of movies to talk about for this episode. I had to go look the movie up again because I forgot the name of it. Also, my memory is shit, so that plays a part. But I didn't have to do that for any of the other movies, so that should say something. I think I gave it like 3 stars out of 5. It was okay. Was it better than Scary Movie? Yes. Would I have paid to see that movie? Or if I paid to see that movie, would I have been glad that I paid to see it? No. So there's that. It was simply okay. It was an okay movie. It didn't change lives, at least not mine. It was cool to see Paul Rudd singing. I will say it made me miss Nick Jonas as a solo artist. I loved Nick Jonas as a solo artist. Nick Jonas, the album, like his first solo album, was my jam. I was a freshman in high school when that album came out. And I swear that was like one of the soundtracks to my life. I absolutely was obsessed with that album. From obviously Jealous was like, the standout hit from that album. But I Want You, Push, Avalanche. But yeah, no, that album was like the soundtrack to my life. So it did make me miss him as a solo artist, but outside of that, I didn't feel like I felt anything from the movie. So, not a bad watch if you're bored and it's on streaming. Check it out. Put it on the background. I don't know. The villain in that movie was not just Nick Jonas's character, but Paul Rudd's family in that. Why I can't think of his name. Rick. Rick's family was the other villain in that movie. My God. Imagine your whole family rooting against you, praying on your downfall. Like, God, poor Rick. What else did I see? I saw that Obsession. All right. Before we talk about Obsession, I do feel like I need to preface with the same thing I have been saying for the last two movie reviews. This is my opinion. I am nobody. My opinion means nothing outside of the walls of Choplandia and the land of No I'm Obsessed. Outside of the border of this universe, of this land, of this nation, my opinion is moot, okay? With that said, I did not like Obsession. I did not like Obsession at all. I didn't like it from the moment it started. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't like it from the moment he snapped that one wish willow to the end. Actually, the ending I didn't hate, but I did not like that movie from the moment he snapped that one wish willow to like at least the last 10 minutes of the movie. And here's why. I think the plot and the premise of the movie was stellar. I think it was a great plot. I think it was a great concept. Like, and I don't think I've ever really seen a movie that has any like with a plot anything like that. If there are some out there like that, please let me know because I would love to like see another rendition of like that type of plot. With that said, I feel like I just was not a fan of the execution of it. I think some of the choices that were made for the movie were, and I guess I should also say, not very spoiler free for this one. This is not very spoiler free. But I think some of the choices were just like too on the nose. Like, for instance, okay, Nikki is obsessed with him and Nikki is in love with him or whatever. She's crazy. She's so in love with him. She's crazy, right? So like when you make the crazy person like the textbook definition of crazy, like the cliche, when they do the cliche crazy things like watching you sleep and they're like screaming about, why don't you love me? I feel like you don't love me as much as I love you. When they do the cliche things, I feel like it takes away from it. I think it was too on the nose with certain things. It was like, okay, this is what you'd expect a crazy person to do. But I think it would have really served it. And like I said, I'm nobody. I'm not a filmmaker. And obviously the success of the movie speaks to how good it is to like trust your own instincts. Everything's not for everyone. So like take what I'm saying with a grain of salt if you have not seen the movie. But I think for me it was just I just feel like I like when things are implied. I also like subtle choices. I think when you're giving me like you're telling me this person is crazy and then showing me this person is crazy in the most cliche ways, it's like, well, duh. Like it doesn't leave me feeling like I'm working for anything. And I think that's what it is. I like when the media that I consume makes me work for stuff. And I feel like maybe like in a movie like this, how do you necessarily make the audience work for that? That I don't know. I would have to like sit and really think on that, I think. I just feel like the choices of making her do certain things just felt too on the nose. I felt like it was like, okay, this is just like what a here's I think some of the crazy things that she was doing is like what a guy deems as crazy. like yelling, "Why don't you love me?" I'm sorry. That's just I don't know. That felt lazy to me. Um, I just don't feel like that. I've been a crazy girl. Unfortunately, I've been a crazy girl. And so some of the things just felt like, okay, this is what a crazy girl is from the perspective of a man. Like, this is what being crazy is to a man. But like, I think women are capable of being crazy in ways that are not cliche. And I think it would have been fun. And I don't know. I'm probably not even explaining this right, and I probably just like sound stupid to other people, but that's okay. I I know what I'm trying to say. And I think some of the choices did work. Like her coming up out of nowhere and killing Sarah after sneaking away, after Bear snuck away to go meet with her. That moment was insane. And when she fed him the cat sandwich, that moment was those were good moments. I think those were good creative choices, but there were just some where it just felt too on the nose. And then I also felt like there were some moments where it felt like they were acting. Like obviously you when you're watching a movie or a TV show, you obviously like you're not stupid. You know they're acting, but I couldn't get lost in it. I just could not get lost in the movie. It felt like I was watching people act. And so I feel like by the time I was like 20, 30 minutes in, I was kind of just like, God, like I am watching these people act and I'm just not, I'm not impressed with this. And so I know I'm in the minority here. We love the minorities. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. I know I'm in the minority here, so that's fine. But, that's just my thoughts on it. God, we're at an hour. This is what I'm talking about. I sat here and said I would only talk for 45 minutes to an hour, and I still have 2 more things I need to get to. Here we are. This is what happens when you give a bitch who doesn't know how to shut up a microphone. This is exactly what happens. This is your fault. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, I've spent too much time on this. I was not a fan of Obsession. I think it was great in theory, didn't love the execution. But that's just me. I did see that the director or writer or whatever of the movie was talking about how he had the idea for an anthology series where like each episode is like a different one each episode would be a different One Wish Willow story, which I think could be super fucking cool. So I would tune into that if that becomes a thing. So I don't want this to come across as like, "Bah, that movie sucked," and "Bah," because no, I think the guy is talented. I think, and like I said, the plot was great. I think that in theory, like I would have loved this movie and really enjoyed it, but I just didn't like super love the execution of it. I would be open to tuning into the series. And, I'm also not opposed to like revisiting the movie and trying it again to see if my opinion changes. It won't happen anytime soon, but I'm open to revisiting it at some point in the future. Anywho, moving on. I saw Backrooms. I'm not about to spend too much time on this movie. I didn't like Backrooms. And it felt like it was lacking in plot. It felt like it was lacking in plot. Like, it was just stuff happening, but it didn't feel and maybe I'm stupid. So, I feel like people who love horror movies, like, are smarter than me low key. Um, and I like horror movies. I don't dislike them. 'Cause I loved Weapons. But I just didn't like Backrooms. And so, I feel like between not liking Backrooms and not liking Obsession, 2 of the most, like, successful horror movies of like the decade. Maybe that means there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm a bit stupid. What was that? I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit stupid, but I didn't really enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not going into detail. Didn't like it. I don't need to explain anything further because this is the land of Choplandia and I'm the president of Choplandia. So I don't have to explain. Didn't like Backrooms. There we go. Last on the movie debrief list is Girls Like Girls. There's nothing like going to a movie and having a movie break your soul open and you're just sitting in a theater inconsolable in tears. And that is exactly what Girls Like Girls did to me. Girls Like Girls was such a heart-wrenching, heartwarming, just it was such a beautiful movie. It was so beautiful, and first I have to say, Maya DaCosta is a star, like, she is I if she doesn't start landing, like, hella roles after that movie. I know it was kind of more like an independent movie, so it's not like it a bunch of eyes are going to see it, but I hope the right eyes see it because God, she was so good in that movie, like, I wanted to swaddle her. I wanted to wrap her up in a blanket and just rock her and just keep her safe from the cruelties of this world, like, it just I feel like I don't wanna say it took me back to being a teenager because I am fortunate enough to not have, like, had the struggles that her and Sonia had to deal with, but I think that movie made me realize just, like, how privileged I was in my journey with my sexuality. I feel like that movie reminded me, like, of how hard being a teenager can be. Like, you're already dealing with the hormones that come being a teenager, like, trying to figure your shit out, trying to figure out what life means, trying to figure out, like, how to just survive every day. This is not my experience. Being a teenager was fun as hell for me. But a lot of people do struggle in their teenage years. And when you add just like when you, on top of like the regular struggles, when you add on like trying to navigate your sexuality, she was grieving the loss of her mother. She also had to like figure out how to navigate this new relationship with her father who wasn't in her life for majority of her years of her life. So, she was just dealing with so much. Oh, my goalie, my goalie. She was just dealing with so much, and then, like, now she has to, like, figure out, like, "Crap, I like this girl." Like, what does this mean? Like, what am I like, what's going on here? It's so much to deal with, and it made me think about, like, how fortunate I was to not have to, like, worry about anything like that, because for me, I think I realized I realized that I liked girls at a pretty young age, and it was just kind of like it was kind of just like a realization. I had the realization, and I kinda sat with it for a minute and just kinda like, "Oh, okay," and then kept it pushing. Like, I didn't have this big moment. There was nothing I had to, like I didn't it wasn't this secret that I feel like I had to carry. It wasn't something I struggled with. And so I think that movie really made me realize how fortunate I was to have that experience. And it's funny, I was talking to my friend, um, she was talking about how the song that the movie is based on, how she used to play that song all the time when she was in her gay denial phase. And it made me sad. Like, I literally wanted to cry when I read that text message because, like, there are so many people, like, the majority of queer people who realize their sexuality and then they have to just like, they have to deal with that, whether it's internally, externally, both. They have to figure out what that means for them. They have to figure out, like, what that means for the people around them, and, like, that's hard to deal with, especially when you're a teenager because stuff like that feels like the end of the world. Stuff like that feels so heavy, and it feels like, "How do I move past this? Like, how is this, like, ever not going to be, like, the biggest thing in my life?" And obviously, like, you get older and you realize, like, that's just one small part of who I am. But when you're young, like, that shit, I imagine, feels like the end of the world or, like, feels like the biggest thing on your in your life. And so, it just made me feel very grateful and fortunate to not have had to deal with that struggle. And then it also just made me just, like, sad for the people who have struggled, for the people that will struggle, for the people that didn't make it out of that struggle, for the people who made it out of the struggle, but have wounds and scars still from that struggle. God, this got really deep and, and kind of sad, but this is like serious shit. And I, yeah, it was just a beautiful movie. And then it was just a beautiful movie. And it moved me. It really moved me. I was in that theater. It was literally four people in the theater, me, two lesbians, and a gay boy. And we were supporting, okay? We were the only ones in there, but we were supporting, and that's what matters. But yeah, that was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. Y'all know how I told you what I said about 5 stars. It's hard for me to figure out, like, how do you give something 5 stars? Now on to important matters. I know you guys have been waiting with bated breath for this. Oh my gosh, it's time to talk about NostalgiaCon. It's time to talk about NostalgiaCon. Oh my god. Oh, okay. NostalgiaCon was last weekend, and I'm still floating on a cloud. Like, just don't I don't even know where to begin. Like, oh my god, talk about a religious experience. I had a fucking religious experience last week, and I just don't know how I go back to living a normal life after that. How do you get to be in a room with people that you grew up watching on TV that you were obsessed with, and you're just supposed to go back to normal everyday life after that? I had conversations with people that I was obsessed with, and I'm just supposed to, like, act like that didn't happen. I'm supposed to go back to everyday life like that never how is that supposed to work? How's that supposed to work? I don't understand that. That doesn't sound right to me. Where do I even start? Okay. I guess I'll just, like, walk you through the day. So, I got to NostalgiaCon was in Anaheim, which is about 45 minutes to an hour from me. So I went it was a 3-day conference, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I went Saturday because that was when all the people that I wanted to see were gonna be there. And so I felt like there was kinda no point in me getting a 3-day or a 2-day pass when everyone I wanted to see was gonna be and all the panels I wanted to see was gonna be on one day. So I got the Saturday pass, and I don't regret that at all, actually. I know in the last episode, I was talking about how I should have gotten a 2-day, but I really didn't need to. I got there at, like, 12, and I had already knew that I wanted to meet certain people before the panel started. And so the panels I went to 4 panels. I went to, uh, Teen Wolf, Twilight, Vampire Diaries, and One Tree Hill. Panel started at 2. I got there at 12. I said, "Perfect. That gives me 2 hours to, meet people, to kinda navigate my way around, whatever, all that great stuff." So I got there, I checked in. Since I had the VIP pass, the VIP came with I got a cool, like, um, drawstring backpack, and the drawstring backpack was a NostalgiaCon Twilight themed, keyboard pad or, like, mouse pad, that whatever you wanna call it. And so I put that on my desk at work. It's super cute. And then I got a free T-shirt and a print. And so I got a One Tree Hill thing. I was gonna wear it to record, but I can't find it right now. But it was a One Tree Hill themed shirt. It says "The NostalgiaCon" and it's One Tree Hill themed. And then I got a print. I got a Teen Wolf print, and I got that. That was what I decided I was gonna use that to get that signed. Um, so yeah, check-in process was smooth, it's easy. So I get checked in and I walk into it's like this big convention space, and there's like vendors, and then there's like the guest tables and stuff like that with all the talent. And so I'm just like walking around, just checking out people who are there, all that stuff. I walk to like towards the back, and I start seeing Teen Wolf tables. I'm walking past and I'm seeing now certain people showed up at different times, so not everyone was there at the same time. So I start walking and I start seeing like, Shelley Hennig's table, J.R. Bourne's table, and Ryan Kelly's table. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting really close. Like this, we're getting close. We're getting close to our religious experience. Eventually I get to the back and I see there right in the center it was like a big old like beam of light just like started shining over their tables, and I saw Tyler Posey's table and I saw Tyler Heckled's table. I had to like physically compose myself because I it started to dawn on me then, like, I am in a room with Tyler Posey. I am in a room with Tyler Heckling. I am in a room with James Lafferty. I am in a room with Chad Michael Murray. I'm in a room with Paul Wesley. I'm in a room with Ian Somerhalder. I am in a room with Ashley Green, Jackson Rathbone, Emmett. Why am I blanking on his name? I am so sorry. Kellen Lutz, Peter Fasinelli. It dawned on me, like, once I started seeing those 2 tables, it dawned on me that I was there, that I was in a room with these people that I have loved for, at this point, more of my life than not. It was it I couldn't believe it. So, I start walking to the back even more, and there he is. I see Tyler Posey, and his line at that point was, like, the longest out of everyone else's, from the Teen Wolf cast at that point, because like I said, some of them weren't there, and then Holland Roden was there. Colton Haynes got there maybe, like, 10 minutes after me, and then I think Crystal Reed got there about, like, 10, 15 minutes after me. So Tyler Posey had the longest line at the time, and then Tyler Heckland was, like, 2nd longest. I got there and I saw Tyler Posey just surrounded by people in the line. And I literally had to, like, I stopped breathing for a second. Like, it dawned, I was like, I am, like, looking at Tyler Posey right now. Like, I am looking at this man who I've loved since I was 12 years old. Mind you, I'm 25. That's 13 years. I'm looking at this man that I've watched on TV and loved since I was 12. Like, I could not conceptualize that. I was losing my mind. I remember, like, he turned his head and I looked at him, and, like, I could clearly I snapped a picture really quickly and I sent it to my friends in my group chat. I was like, I'm shaking. Like, I'm shaking right now. Like, I started getting hot. One thing about me, like, when I'm nervous, I get hot, like, I get sweaty. And so the nerves started hitting and the sweat started pooling on my forehead. I said, "No, this isn't happening." I literally texted in my group chat. I was like, "Fuck, like, I hate that I get sweaty when I'm nervous." Like, I'm just, like, over here trying to, like, fan myself with my I had, like, my Teen Wolf, DVD booklet, and I'm, like, fanning myself with it because I'm like, "Bitch, you cannot go up to him sweaty like this, sweating like a fucking hog." And so, I'm, like, just, like, fanning myself, and anywho, I took a picture of him and I sent it to my group chat, and I was like, "Bitch, like, I'm this close to him, like, I'm freaking out, like, there's no going back, like, I'm going to," I was scared. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared, and so, I remember, like, audibly saying, "I need a minute." Like, "I need a minute, I can't get in line yet. I need a minute to get my shit together, to get my life in order before I can get in this line." So I stand there and I get myself together. It takes me about like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like patting my face. I'm like, bitch, you need to relax, calm down, cool down. and then and then get your ass in line. And so, like I said, I had the VIP pass. So that means I got to like skip the general admission line. Like I have first priority to meet people. So I get in line, I pay for, I said I was gonna get the autograph and selfie. And so I'm in line and wait into my turn and it gets closer and closer. And I'm like watching Tyler Posey obviously as I'm in line waiting. And I was just like, I was so endeared by him. He is genuinely such a personable guy. Like, there are some I haven't met many celebrities. Um, there are some people who are nice, like they're polite. Not a bad experience to meet them. You're like, "He was nice. He was great," or "They were nice." But then you have people who truly, like, make you feel like you're the only person in the room. They make you feel seen. They make you feel like this is a special moment for them just as much as it is for you. And that's how I feel like Tyler Posey was. Like, just even before I even got up to him, watching him interact with his fans, the people online that were meeting him, like, not a hi, how are ya? Sign, bye, have a good one. Watching him just have real conversations with people, watching him, laugh and joke with people, watching him hug people, watching him like talk about the show with people, watching him just like interact with these people as if they're friends. He's a person you can tell he genuinely, one, loves Teen Wolf, and he's a person who genuinely just like loves meeting his fans. He was just so warm and so kind. And mind you, I had these thoughts before I had even gotten to meet him yet. So eventually it's like my turn in line, and I'm just like, the first thing, I don't know how to be normal. The first thing I said to him was, I would say, like, 16-year-old Brianna is pissing her pants, but currently 25-year-old Brianna is also pissing her pants. And it was so funny because as I was saying it, like, clearly he knew what I was gonna say because he, like, literally he finished it for me. I was like, "I would say 16-year-old Brianna is pissing her pants right now, but honestly, 25-year-old," he was like, "25-year-old Brianna is also pissing her pants." I was like, "Yes, yes!" Like, yes, I am. Unfortunately, like, it's pooling, like, there's a puddle right here. Sorry, watch your step. Like, I I could not believe that I first of all just all not all disrespect, all respect to Mrs. Posey, your husband is very handsome. I obviously, Tyler Posey is not like, I never thought he was an ugly guy. I watched Teen Wolf. I follow him on Instagram, but he is so handsome in person. He's, like, adorable. Like, he's so cute and handsome and adorable in person, and I was just like, "Oh my god," like, wow. Um, but, yeah, I told him that I was pissing my pants, and I introduced myself and told him how much Teen Wolf meant to me, like, how it's on the Mount Rushmore, like, my Mount Rushmore of TV shows, and I told him about how I interviewed Ashley Rickards, and he was just, like, so present in our conversation, even though, like, there was a moment, I guess, like, one of the NostalgiaCon employees came and, like, brought him food. I guess he had been, like, hungry, and they were, like, serving food, and he, like, had, like, asked someone to grab him food or whatever, and so they brought it to him. Like, he, thanked them for the food and, like, started talking about the food for a second. But immediately, like, after he, you know, had that interaction, he immediately, like, focuses back in on me, and it's just such he was just so present and so kind and so warm, and I was talking to him, I was just like, "I appreciate that you, like, still champion Teen Wolf, like, I love how much you love Teen Wolf, and, I'm glad that you're not one of those people who, like, looks back and is like, ugh, like, I don't wanna talk about this show that I did 10, 15 years ago." And he was like, "It was a big part of my life, and I understand people who do, you know, like, I understand people who don't wanna talk about stuff that they did, a decade ago or whatever, but, I love Teen Wolf, and I love what we did, and I think it's still a great show, and so I do, I love this, and I wanna talk about this," and so it was just he's so just humble and just kind and just so personable and such a sweetheart, and so we took selfies, and I'm gonna post this. I didn't wanna post the selfies until I talked about the episode. Until I talked about the interaction on this episode. So I'm gonna post all that stuff on socials, once this episode goes up. But we took selfies, and he was just I thought it was gonna be like "Okay, here's the phone, take one selfie, and there you go." But no, like, he took the phone, and he did, like, different poses, we did silly poses, we smiled, it was just and I know that it obviously meant more to me than it did to him because he does these conventions, and so, like, he's had thousands of interactions at this point, and so, for him, it may have just been, like, another one in the book, but he didn't make you feel like that. He made you feel like he was excited, just as excited to meet you as you are to meet him. And let me grab my print. Audio listeners, obviously you cannot see this, but even my visual listeners can't really see this. But this is the print that I got, and I got it signed by him and Tyler Hecklin. And he wrote the sweetest, or Tyler probably like wrote the cutest little message. He said, "To my friend Brianna, love you. So good to meet you." Smiley face. And I want to be buried with this print. No, I'm just kidding. But it was just a 10 out of 10 experience meeting him, and it was just so great. He was so kind, so nice, just so present, and truly a person who loves his fans, loves what he does, loves Teen Wolf, and it would, even if he was the only person that I met, it would have been worth it than what I paid. Just meeting him made it worth it. And so after I met him, I went to the panels. Like I said, there were 4 of them, and the panels were cute. They were fun. I've been trying to get to a Teen Wolf convention since I started watching Teen Wolf at 12 years old. And so living in Virginia, that's hard. It's hard to find there are no panels like that close to you. No type of conventions, I mean. There are no type of conventions like that close to in Virginia. Unfortunately, Virginia is not a convention state. Not for stuff like that, at least. So when I found out NostalgiaCon was happening, I had no choice but to go. I owed it to teenage Brianna. So, like I said, I've been trying to get to a Teen Wolf convention for over a decade at this point, and so seeing them all at the panel, honestly, minus Dylan O'Brien, was just like everything to me. It was like seeing my family together. Even Crystal Reed was there, and so it was just so crazy seeing these people that I loved on TV, like, one, being in the room with them and just, like, seeing them all together, hearing them talk about this show that I loved. It was just everything. It was everything. And I need to speed this up because I still need to talk about one more thing. And then after Teen Wolf panel was Twilight. That was everything. Obviously, Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart and Taylor Lautner were not there. So it was the Cullens, and then it was Boo Boo Stewart, Seth Clearwater, and Julia. I'm sorry, I can't remember her last name, but the girl who plays Leah Clearwater. That was so fun as well. And the most random shit, Gustavo from Big Time Rush was the moderator for the Twilight panel. That's not a world I ever saw colliding. That was not on my bingo card, but that was cool. It was like a 2 for 1 in a way. But yeah, that panel was cute. They talked about like their casting stories, how they got casted. Just like talking about what it means to them to like still be able to like come do these conventions. So like Nikki Reed was there, which was cool because I know she doesn't really do stuff like that often. So yeah, that was fun panel. Then after Twilight was Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries had the room packed. Like, I thought it was packed for Teen Wolf. They packed that hoe out for Vampire Diaries. For that panel was obviously Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley, and that was a cute panel. Ian Somerhalder is so personable. Like, he's so charming and charismatic and just warm. And Paul Wesley, he is definitely the more like reserved one, but he has that really fun dry humor, which was fun. I like them both a lot in like different ways. They were a good time seeing their banter back and forth. Like, I love that they're like truly friends, like brothers. Like, I love that so much. This convention was just everything for teenage Brianna. Shit, it was everything for 25-year-old Brianna. Oh, I'm also really glad that I got to see Ian Somerhalder. I know he said he's not doing conventions after his last one in April 2027. So I'm glad that I got to catch him at a convention before he retires from doing those. So that was just really fun. And then the last one was One Tree Hill. Oh my God. The One Tree Hill panel was so fun. James Lafferty and Chad Michael Murray are aging so fucking well. Oh my God. And I got to ask them a question. I made sure, like, I wanted to ask questions at all of them, but like I didn't necessarily have like a set question that I wanted to ask any of them other than Chad Michael Murray and James Lafferty. So I made sure right before their panel that I moved to a seat where I had quick and easy access to that mic So at that panel, I went up to the mic, and first of all, I just have to say, I made Chad Michael Murray and James Lafferty laugh. Come on, come the fuck on! Like I made them laugh, and I want to tell you, I have watched that video no less than 20 times. I have watched the video of me making them laugh no less than 20 times because I'm just gagged. I cannot believe that. I asked them also when I went up to the mic, the first thing I said was, I just have to say, Nathan Scott has never done anything wrong in his life. He's never done anything wrong in his life, and I stand on that. That's what I said, and I got a nice little laugh out of the audience. And then Chad Michael Murray and James Lafferty laughed. And I honestly feel like what more like how many people can say that they've made them laugh? How many people can say that? No, but and then after I said that, I asked them, what their favorite qualities were of both of their characters. And so it was a good time. They had great answers for that. And I can tell you there is no One Tree Hill reunion coming anytime soon. That was the first question someone asked, and once the Q&A started, that was the first question that was asked, and you could tell they were trying to be respectful about the question and, like, respect their co-stars, but you can tell that ain't happening, at least no time soon. No time soon. But, yeah, it was such a fun experience, like, the fact that I got to talk to them and ask questions it was so fun. It was such a good time. So after the panels, I then got back in line to meet Tyler Hoechlin, and that one was a quicker experience than, like, meeting Tyler Posey. Tyler Hoechlin, he was sweet. He was very sweet. Obviously, gosh, so handsome. Like, he has another one, Asian, like, fine fucking wine. My God. I had on my Derek Hale shirt. Told him how much Teen Wolf meant to me, how much I love Teen Wolf. Told him I've been trying to get to a convention for years. He asked me where I told him I had to, since I finally moved here. I told him since I finally moved here, like I had to like get to this. And so like he asked me where I was from. I told him that I just moved here from Virginia. He was like, "Oh, well, welcome to California," all that stuff. He was a lot more like reserved compared to Tyler Posey, and not in a bad way. Like it was not a bad experience at all. He just, wasn't they're not the same people. So you can't expect the same interaction with them. But it wasn't a bad interaction by far. He was very kind, very sweet, very respectful, very nice. And he took the pictures for me. I was like, "Can you take the pictures, please? Because my arms are short and you're a tall guy." Um, so he took the pictures. We took about 5. No, we took I think 3. We took 3 pictures, right? Me and Tyler Posey took about 7, about 6 or 7. 6, 7. I'm sorry. We took 6 or 7 pictures. Not that that even matters, but yeah, his was a very we kept it very cute, very respectful, very, very, very friendly. And then he saw I had him sign that poster too. He said for Brianna, Tyler Hoechlin, Derek. So it was great. It was very great, very kind, very nice. It was a great experience. I will say, I probably did not do it right, like the nostalgia con of it all, because I obviously I paid to get in. So I didn't have to pay for their signatures or their autographs if I didn't want to. And I could have still gone up to their tables and talked to them. But it felt something about it felt icky, and I don't know why. That's capitalism beating my ass because I paid to get in here. I shouldn't have to pay to talk to you either. And I didn't have to. But I felt bad about the idea of going up to people's table, not paying for an autograph, not paying for a picture, and then just sitting there talking to them. All right, bye. So there were a lot of people that I maybe wanted to meet, but I didn't because I was like, I'm not about to pay for your autograph. And I don't even mean like the team. I mean other people over there. Or I don't even want to say like I'm not about to, but more like I need to be smart with my spending. And so I can't pay for your autograph right now. I can't pay to take a picture with you. And so the idea of going up to some people's tables and not paying for anything and just talking felt weird to me. I don't know. So I kind of missed out on meeting quite a few people, honestly. Like I didn't go up and meet James Lafferty and Chad Michael Murray. I was like, I asked them a question. That was cool. That was enough for me. I didn't go meet any of the Twilight cast because I wasn't going to pay for an autograph or a picture. I really only met Tyler Posey and Tyler Hecklin, honestly. And that was fine. Like 10 out of 10 experience. I probably did not do it right, but that was my experience for me was perfect. There was not much more that I could have asked for. So yes, I ended up leaving about 5 o'clock. So I was there for a good 5 hours. I got to see all the panels I wanted to see. I got to meet people. It was just a good time. I really enjoyed it. I had the best time. I hope it's as stacked next year as it was this year because now that I know when it typically takes place, how many people show up, how the pricing, like what to expect with pricing, I can save up for this properly and like do it big, do it right the next time. So I hope next year is as packed, like jam packed with guests as as this year's was, because gosh, I'm gonna ball the fuck out next year if so. So yes, Nostalgia Con was a dream. I had the best time and it was everything I could have ever needed. Like I said last time we talked, I feel like moving here to California, like I've just reverted back to my teenage self. I've just gotten everything like teenage Brianna could have ever wanted. And so I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful for the experience and I can't wait to do it again. And yeah. With that said, it's time to move into the last portion of this episode. I need a minute. I need a freaking minute. I am gonna have to like limit myself on this because I will talk about this for an hour, and I'm not editing a 3 hour episode. So with that said, I'm giving myself 20 minutes to talk about this next topic, and at 20 minutes, that's it. Matter of fact, I'm setting a timer. I'm holding myself to this 20 minutes. Wah, they're on a FaceTime without me. Wah. Did I say an hour? Oh, I said hour and a half. Okay. All right. I'm giving myself 20 minutes. Visual listeners. Visual watchers, video watchers. I'm starting this timer for 20 minutes. Once 20-minute hits, I don't care if I'm in the middle of a sentence. I don't care if I'm in the middle of a rant. It's over. Okay. 20 minutes starting now. It's time to talk about Love Island. It's time to talk about Love Island because this season, what the fuck has this season been? Let me preface with, as we all know, Love Island comes out every single day. It comes out every day but Wednesdays and Saturdays. Well, we have that. Wednesdays and Saturdays. And so due to the nature of the show, my opinions could drastically change even by the time this episode comes out. So take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt. I need to preface with that. With that said, what the absolute fuck has this season been? What is this season? What is this season of Love Island? I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't know what's happening. I feel like Love Island, we're on episode, 19 now? We're halfway through. I feel like we're in Casa more. Okay. I'm starting to enjoy it now that we're in Casa, but I feel like the first 16 episodes of this season have just felt like an imitation of Love Island. Like it feels like a parody. Like they've taken all the weirdest or maybe even arguably worst things about the season and honed in on that. And I don't know what to do with that. I feel like I'm finally starting to warm up to this season halfway through. But God, this season's been so fucking weird. Where do I even start? We'll start with single people. Caleb. The girlies love Caleb. The girlies love Caleb, and that's confusing to me. And this is no disrespect to Caleb because I don't really feel one way or the other about him. I don't dislike him. I don't particularly like him. To me, he's kind of just there. But the girlies love a heartbroken white boy. The girlies love um a white boy that has been done dirty. Because I went to the movies to see the first day of Casa Amor and or like the first full day of Casa Amor. And when Caleb came on that screen, and the way everyone in that audience cheered, I was like, whoa, like y'all love this white boy down. And like I said, this is no disrespect to him. I just don't get it. Like, I don't have an opinion on him. So I was thoroughly surprised when like the girlies were like, ah, Caleb!" I was confused. I was confused, not gonna lie. I was confused, but I don't really care one way or the other. Jen, how the hell is Jen still on this show? How is she still on this show? Another one who I don't really feel like I have a huge opinion on. I also want to say, when I say this stuff, I know these are real people. So I do want to be mindful of the things that I say, but I also want to keep in mind that this is also entertainment. And so I recognize that these are real people, but I also recognize that right now they're also, in a way, characters. So I'm never going to say anything crazy about them. Like, I'm never going to say anything horrible about these people because they are real people. But this is how I feel about them, how they're being portrayed. Not how I feel about them as a person, mostly for most of these for some of these people, because some of these people are showing their true fucking colors. But I don't know these people. I don't know their character. So what I'm saying is just from what I'm being shown. I want to preface with that as well. Who why is Jin there? She is a nothing burger at this point right now. I feel like even with Casa, her coupling feels just generic and boring. I don't care about what she has going on in Casa. I don't feel like she adds anything to this cast, but whatever. I don't even need to spend too much time on those two. Moving on to the couples. Let's start with Zach and Kata. Love me some Kata. I love Kata down. Like, she has been so fun to watch. I do not like Zach. I don't like them together. I feel like Zach is he wants to come off as secure in his relationship or in his couple. He wants to come off as his power couple, but he's insecure. He's deeply insecure about his relationship with Kata because the way that he acted when Caleb pulled Kata for a chat, the way "Oh, I'll just go and pull Melanie." You're a loser. You're a loser. The first thing that you think to do is retaliate because she's having a chat with someone, which is the sole purpose of Love Island, especially when the first thing he did after they had sex is ask if she was going to kill him if he explores. Are you out of your mind? The audacity. Anytime there's a Brit, one thing I've noticed about Brits on Love Island is that they always have some type of audacity or nerve, minus Miguel. Miguel, you will always get your flowers around here. Miguel is a stand-up guy. He's American as far as I'm concerned. um, but that guy, what was his name? Slade? Was his name Slade? He was on season 6. He came into the villa from Casa Amor. He was in that villa like he owned shit. Didn't own jack. Thought he was on some shit. Last season, Charlie, I don't know. I have mixed opinions about Charlie, but I never get along well with the Brits. I never do. I never do. And I don't like Zach. Like I said, I'm trying to be respectful because these are real people, but I do not like him. I think he has too many opinions on things. And you know what? That's fine. You're allowed to have your opinions. He's too comfortable with voicing his opinions on shit that he shouldn't be comfortable voicing his opinions on. Yeah, can I be honest? I don't think Trenton likes you that much. Shut up. What do you know? You don't know jack squat except how to be gay with your friend. Except how to yearn and be gay with your friend. And I love the gays. That does not bother me at all. But don't speak on their relationship because you're in love with him. Okay? I think Kata is safe regardless because whether she's with Zach or not, because people love Kata. Kata is safe. I feel like Kata, honestly, Anaya and Trinity are safe, no, and Melanie are safe no matter what. Those girls are, they're the final four. It's obvious that no matter who they end up with, they are going to be the final four. So they're good. It really truly doesn't even matter. But I do not like Zach. He is grimy, slimy, and I see you, Zach. I see you. Melanie and Sincere. Sincere had me fooled. Sincere had me fooled for like the first 10 episodes. But now I see you for who you are, Sincere. And that who you are is a lion. No good. You are the epitome. I couldn't believe he said that. Sincere is the epitome of a lion ass nigga. That is what Sincere is. Sincere will look you dead in your eye, lie to you, and then you call him out on the lie and be like, what do you mean I'm lying? So you're an angel, you're an angel, so you're an he is a fuck nigga. I'm sorry. That's the first time I've ever used the N-word on this show, but that's what he is. Sometimes you just gotta call a spade, and Sincere is a fuck nigga. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. He's no the way he is acting in Casa right now, he's doing all of this kissing and this, oh, I like you too, and you're so emotionally mature, and like I feel like you get me. To go right back home to Melanie. The same shit he did with Soul. He is a leopard does not change his stripes, and I pray. I actually had mixed feelings on Melanie for a while. Well, at the beginning of this show, I liked her at first, and then she was doing too much for me, and then it was like, all right, girl, like I gotta, I'm off you, like I'm off you. But she has been winning me back. She's been chill. She's been even when moments where she's like kind of a bird, because we can be honest, like I said, we can call a spade a spade. Melanie's a bird, but she's not a bad person, you know? And so she's been winning me back over. And I'm just like, girl, like you you need to see this man for who he is. My God, I might have to go over 20 minutes. I don't know. Um Sincere is he is going to do all of that shit in Casa and then come right back to her and be like, oh, you're the only one I want, girl. You're the only one I want. It's always been you, Mel. It's always been you, beloved. You're a fuck nigga. Melanie, I need you to free yourself before you're out in the real world and then it's really too late for you. Like, you need to free yourself. Don't want me, then don't talk to me. Free yourself, word to Fantasia, okay? Oh dear God. Like watching Sincere on my screen, watching him be sneaky and just lie has been it's he only time Sincere gets nothing from me. Only time Sincere even gets the thought of the thought of a compliment from me is when he got that sympathy afro out, not afro, then sympathy locks out. That hair, let me tell you, Sincere is no good when he got that little ugly ass bun in his head. The moment them locks come down, unfortunately, I do melt like a little puddle of goo. However, he tends to have the bun in more than the hair down. So I'm on your ass. I'm on your ass whenever that hair is up, Sincere. Do I think he is going to bring this girl back to the villa? Like I said, hell no. He's doing all of this stuff in Casa because he can, because there's no one around to check him on it. And then he's going to come back to Melanie like nothing happened. I am curious to see how honest he's going to be about it all and how much Melanie's going to have to wait to find out for movie night. Wait for movie night to find out about. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, Sincere, you have me fooled, but I'm on your ass now. I don't know if I want Melanie to recouple though, because the guy she's talking to, Corey, I don't really know how I feel about him either. I truly wish that she could be like, I actually want to be single until a bombshell comes in. Um, I don't know how I feel about Corey. If she recouples, you know what? Cool, fine. At least you're away from that liar. But if she doesn't recouple, I'm sure she's not going to recouple. Because like I said, I like Melanie, but she's a bird. And I don't want to say that's okay because I don't think it's okay to be a bird, but she's not a bad person. So it's like whatever. Everyone has their flaws. So I just want Melanie to be happy. I just want Melanie to like not be with a liar. So if Corey ends up not being a liar, then cool. It is what it is. Have him. Kenzie and Corbin. Corbin GPT. Lord Corbin. I will never be a Corbin girl. Never ever. From the moment he walked into that villa, I knew he was not shit. I was never fooled by the looks because he's conventionally attractive, but I don't like super, super pretty boys. I just don't. It's never been me. I've never been that kind of girl. Can I admire your attractiveness? Yes. Will I fall for you? No. Corbin has never done it for me. Melanie. Corbin has never done it for me. And I knew we just had to wait. When Corbin is being such an ass in Casa, and not even with the like exploring people because whatever, that's Casa. The things that he is saying is so nasty and so rude. So nasty and so rude. Saying the Villa girls or saying the Casa girls are not gonna lie. The Casa girls are so much better than the Villa girls. Than the girls back at the Villa. Shut your jablasian ass up, okay? You are so disgusting and so rude. That is disgusting. Don't compare women like that. Do not piss me off, okay? That pissed me clean off when he made that comment the other episode. One thing I've been saying about Corbin since he first came on the show is he's a red flag because he always wants to say the right thing. You can see him when he's having conversations, you can see his brain working to figure out the smoothest thing to say, to figure out the thing that's going to make the girl swoon. Nothing about him feels authentic. So, on top of you not being authentic, your fake personality is boring. How are you inauthentic and boring? The only thing you have going for you is you being attractive. And lucky for me, attractiveness is not the only thing that swoons me, bitch. I'm a personality girl. If you ain't got no personality to back up your looks, you're nothing. You're nothing. So Corbin does nothing for me at all. And you know what's bad when Corbin's behavior has me liking Kenzie. I do not like I spent the first 17 episodes of this season not liking Kenzie. Like, I wanted her out of my villa. I wanted her and her splits out of my villa. I wanted her off my island. But Casa has me warming up to her simply because Corbin is just a shit sandwich, in the words of Kenzie. He's a shit sandwich. Kenzie has been Kenzie has made a fan out of me, child. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go over 20 minutes. I don't know how to keep my word. Kenzie has made a fan out of me since Casa started. Kenzie and her splits. That girl is insane. And I love an insane girl. I love an insane girl. Whoa. Depending on the types of insane. Because She Who Shall Not Be Mentioned from last season, I don't like that type of insane. But I like just a kooky, crazy girl. And I felt like Kenzie was that at the beginning of the season. And then I just felt like the whole like Corbin, Caleb stuff was just getting on my nerves. I felt like she was being a hypocrite about stuff and it was getting on my nerves. But she has been winning me over with Casa. When she hit that angry split, oh, I die every time I watch that video. And fuck you! Her and Kata yelling "fuck you" to the other villa had me in tears. And fuck you! She popped in that split. What they call it on Twitter, the clam slam. Oh my god. The clam slam is insane. It's insane. And the fist, she hit the split and threw the fist up. I died. I died. Kizzy girl, you done made a fan out of me. You keep this up and you might just be one of my clients. Like, I just love a kooky girl and I need her to say kooky and not annoying. So you're safe right now, girl. And I hope her and her white boy, make it to just before the final four. And I hope they live a nice, happy life, her and her white boy. Because the black ain't serving you. The Jablasian is not serving you. And I'm glad. One thing about Kenzie, she will recognize when a man is not her man and move on. She said, quick to cut it off. Oh, y'all hear that? We'll repeat it. I'm giving myself 20 more minutes. Hopefully, actually, no. What I'm going to do is give myself 15 more minutes. 15 minutes starting now. And after that, then we got to wrap this baby up. Wrap it up like a present. Quincy is quick to cut somebody off. The way we have not seen her speak to Zach since he let her know he does not like blonde and he moved on to Kata, we have not even seen them interact. I need to be more like Kenzie, actually, now that I think about it. I need to take a page out of her book. We can all learn something from Miss Kenzie, okay? Miss 2030. So yeah, Kenzie, have your fun in Casa, live your best life, bring your white boy back, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, okay? Casey and Anaya. Ugh. Ugh. I'm exhausted of both of them, to be honest. I'm truly exhausted. Like, I feel like we've been on a roller coaster of emotions with these two. I remember when they first got coupled up, I honestly feel like I didn't have an opinion on them. Like, I remember being on Twitter and like people were like, Casey and Anaya, my couple, I'm taking them to the finale. And I was like, I don't get it. I think they're boring. I clocked how boring they were from the moment they got coupled up. I felt like they had very surface level conversations. They don't have chemistry. I don't care what anybody says. They do not have chemistry. They don't. There is not one moment where I watched them and was like, oh, I'm getting, like, this is buzzy. There was no buzzy moment. There was nothing that had me moving. They were just, and I feel like people felt like they had to root for them because they're black, but they're boring. They have no chemistry at all. So they just never did anything for me, but I didn't dislike them. It was just like, I'm not going to root against them because they black and skin folk is kinfolk, okay? But they just didn't do anything for me. They were kind of just there. And then all of a sudden, I think for me, like Anaya just started doing a lot when it came to the soul and the exploring of it all. I think Anaya, I want to be careful with my words, like I said. Especially, sorry, when it comes to Black women, because I do feel like Black women are heavily scrutinized more than others. And so I really want to be careful about the way that I speak about Black women, especially on a public platform. So I'm going to like be very intentional with the words that I say. And I don't mean anything to be harmful. But Anaya she's not secure. And maybe it's like, I also don't know these people. So it's like, God, I don't want to, ugh. And she comes across, let me say this, because I don't want to speak in definites because I don't know these people. Anaya comes across as someone who's insecure and maybe she has like anxious attachment style because the way she just like spun out of control when it came to the soul of it all was like, girl, like, we got to keep it pee. Like, I understand, like, feelings get involved. I understand, like, a lot of the Islanders always say, like, yes, like, it's only like this amount of time, but like one day feels like a week in that villa. And I can't speak to that because obviously I've never been in the villa. But I think like I don't know if it was a thing where she wanted to be safe and like not go home, or if it was a thing of I like this guy so much I don't want him to leave me, to where I have to cling to you and like I freak out if you even think about exploring anybody else. But the soul of it all was just like, whoa. And it's like, it's hard to have this conversation because I don't even want to defend Casey anymore because Casey is wow. Like, Casey, wow. We're going to come back to Casey. But I just think Anaya was just like I'm not even about to go in on Anaya, but she was just doing a lot to me with the Casey and the soul and the exploring of it all. I think taking taking everything that we know about Casey away right now, taking everything that we know about him now away, I think she was giving him such a hard time when it came to the exploring of it all. Because you can't tell somebody that you are okay with them exploring and that they are allowed to explore, but then anytime the conversation of exploring comes out, you get pouty and you get sad and you get upset and you feel betrayed, you know? Like, this is the name of the game. This is about it. If this is the real world, fine. I understand you being like, I don't want you talking to other people. Or like, I'm not comfortable with you talking to other people, whatever. But when you come on a show where the purpose is to explore multiple people, at least up to a certain point, you need to know what you signed up for. You can't throw fits and be mad and then say, I'm not mad. Go explore. I don't care if you explore. I've already told you explore. I've already told you I don't care if you explore, but you very clearly care if he explores. You know? I think like you can say things, but just because you say them doesn't make it true. Just because you say them doesn't mean you actually believe it. Those actions are always going to speak a hell of a lot louder than those words that are coming out of your mouth. And for Anaya, the actions were saying, I'm not comfortable with you exploring, no matter how many times you said you were. With that said, Casey is no fucking good. Casey is no good. And honestly, I want him out of my villa. I'm gonna let him have his fun in casa, but after that, he got to get the hell out. He got to go. He has to go. I don't know how Casey had y'all fooled. He didn't have me fooled. And it wasn't like a thing of, oh, I see through you, Casey. I know you ain't no good. But I knew that he was not this perfect guy that he wanted us to think he was. And that a lot of people did think he was. I do still feel like Anaya was doing a bit much when it came to him possibly exploring Seoul or just exploring in general. But I do also feel like Casey is a sneaky guy. He's sneaky and he's weird. And Casey is a guy, I don't know what his life is like outside of the villa. I don't. But you can tell Casey is having his fun in Casa because he is a man who is not used to this attention in this villa. He's not used to attention in the villa. The first episode, no one was standing at his door. Okay. And he has not let anybody forget that since it happened, especially since he got to Casa. He is not letting us forget. Oh, bruh, Anaya won't even standing at my door. My stock's going up. The girls in the villa didn't see my superpowers. You're a loser. You're a loser. You're a loser. I'm sorry, that's incel speak. That is loser talk. The girls in the villa didn't see my powers? Are you out of your mind? And what are your powers exactly? Hotep speak? You're the blueprint. When I think of Black women, I think of you. Mind you, you've known her 48 hours. So when you think of Black women now, after 48 hours, she's the first person you think of, not your mom, not your grandmother, not your cousins, not your best friends, not any of the dozens of other Black women that you've known all your life. You think about this girl you've known for 48 hours. That never gave genuine to me. That was never authentic. That was, I'm going to say whatever's going to make me look like a great guy on TV. I saw that. But I was like, I'm gonna wait to see how this plays out. We're at the 5-minute warning, people. Oh, I'm gonna wait to see how this plays out. It's kind of my thought process, was my thought process with Casey. But he's showing his ass. And I'm all for explore, do your thing. Like I said, that's what Love Island is about. Specifically Casa. But he is moving so fucking weird. And I don't even want to get into the Tiara of it all, because that's a whole other conversation. I don't want to get into that. But he's moving so weird in Casa. You can explore, but explore respectfully. Like, as much as I'm not a super fan of Zach, he has been respectful in Casa. He kissed the girl, the racist bitch, but he kissed her, but he hasn't done too much. He's never talked down on Kata like Casey has. Calling this was before Casa. But calling Anaya a grandma because she's not letting you in her panties, you can go straight to hell. That's that. But being in Casa and now all of a sudden we have nothing in common and you're holding it over her head that she didn't pick you the first day, you're a loser. Clearly this has been on your mind all this time, but you didn't have big enough balls to actually speak about it. You wanted to coast your way. You wanted to stay in that villa. So you put up with it. You stayed, you whatever, you settled, air quotes around settled, because that's probably how he thinks about it. And now that you're in Casa and you have girls pursuing you, the truth is coming out. That's a nasty man, and I want him gone. And he better not do all this stuff in Casa and then come back to Anaya. I don't think he will. I'm 95% sure he's going to recouple, but who freaking knows with this dude? With that said, I hope Anaya is a smart girl and recouples with Carl. Girl, that man, you've said it yourself twice. Your intuition is speaking to you, girl. He is not thinking about your feelings in Casa. He's living his best life. You live yours and you bring Carl back, okay? Sister to sister. Bring Carl back if you know what's good for you. Bring him back if you know what's good for you. All right, with that said, it's time to move on to my winners. You guys, I am so Britney pilled. I am Britney pilled. Give it to me. Inject it. I need that shit like crack. I woke up today thinking about them. Like, I am hooked. Like, this, for me, feels crazy to say. This is like Nicolandria times 2 for me. Like, I am on the Brenity Express choo-choo, destination to the finale, destination to the finale, first place winners. They will be getting my vote and they will be the winners. I don't care what anyone says. I've gotten ahead of myself. I have gotten ahead of myself. First of all, Trinity Trinity is like the standout girl of this season. Trinity is a star. She is a star, and I'm very biased because one, she's a Black girl, so clearly I'm going to be biased for her. I love her. I'm always going to root for my sisters, but she's a Libra. Come on, hello, sister again. She's a Libra, and she's from Virginia. I have no choice but to root for her. Are you kidding me? That's like treason if I didn't. It would be treason. I would need to be put to death by the state of Virginia if I didn't root for her. So she's my winner. But Trinity is a star. She is funny. She's adorable. She is real. Like, she's the realest bitch in that villa. Like, Trinity is so real, and I love that about her. She's so real. I love her. She's a Virginia girl. She's a Virginia girly. So I have to root for her. I feel like I didn't always like, for a while, I wasn't really fazed by Zach. Zach, Lord, thinking about his boyfriend. Um, for a while, I didn't really have any strong feelings toward Bryce. I feel like he was just there. I was like, I like Trinity, so whatever. Like, I don't, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I didn't know if she truly liked it. I think part of me was like, I think she's kind of just like waiting for her type to come in and she's gonna just like coast with him until then. Oh, we're at 10 seconds. I lied again, you guys. I cannot keep promises. I'm good. I am gonna wrap this up though soon, in like 5 minutes. But I did feel like she was maybe just like coasting with him until, maybe her type came in. And honestly, Zach felt the same way. I mean, damn, I keep calling Bryce Zach. They're cosmic lovers. And I just can't think about one without thinking about the other. But no, I feel like Bryce felt that way too, which was very obvious in the things he was saying, obviously. But Casa, either Zach knows what the people want to see. Damn! Why do I keep calling him Zach? Either Bryce knows what the people want to see. Actually, no, I'm not putting that in the air. Trinity's a bad bitch. He knows what he has. Zach, oh my God. Bryce. Bryce knows what he has, and he needs his girl back. Get my boy back to his wife. get him back to his wife. He is in that villa contemplating suicide. He is in Casa trying to figure out if he can survive the swim from the Casa villa to the original villa. And I saw this tweet was like they're taking turns watching him like he's on suicide watch. And that is just like the perfect way. I love to see a man yearn for a woman. Like, get on your knees, like talk about how you miss your woman, like yearn for her. Yes, exactly. Like that's really all it took. I think that's exactly what it took. Seeing that, I was hooked. I love a desperate man with a bad bitch. Like, yes, recognize what you have. I am so Brittany pilled. And I know like there was the discussion about, oh, Bryce feels like this because none of the girls in Casa are like giving him the time of the day. Or Bryce feels like this because none of the girls are reciprocating his energy. Or Bryce feels like this because blah, 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 because what Trinity does for him, what Trinity does for him, blah, 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 blah. And I think for a second, I started to subscribe to that. But you can't fake the misery that is on Bryce's face. And I feel like even if it was a thing like that, he would at least be, pulling people for chats or kissing people or doing something. He is quite literally just miserable. He's miserable without Trinity. He's miserable. And so I think that right there says it all. Like, but he seems to like genuinely be sprung for her and like missing her. And he can't wait to get back to his wife. And I'm so glad Trinity very quickly realized that Corey was not for her and said, I need my husband. I'm glad she realized that quickly because it would have been heartbreaking for Bryce to come back single and Trinity standing there with Corey. I would have, and it would have been terrifying to think about what the public reaction would have been to that. If Trinity and Bryce stay together, they are the winners. Like we, at this point, as long as we already know who the winners of this season are. It's very obvious who the winners of this season are. As long as they stick to the script, they keep it correct, they keep it cute, and Bryce keeps it cute, they have won. They are $50,000 richer. They're my winners. They got me and I got them. Okay? We're taking them to the finale. Brittany they can already go ahead and make that checkout to Bryce Alakai and Trinity. Unfortunately, I'm blanking on her last name, but Trinity Virginia. That's her name right now. Miss Virginia. Go ahead and make them checks out because we have our winners. We have our winners, people. I also cannot walk away from this season, walk away from this without talking about just like the Casa of it all in general. The producers, those are evil people. The producers are evil. Like that was making those girls sit there and watch that heart rate challenge, humiliation ritual. Humiliation ritual. But they needed that. I fear the girls needed that. Because one, I love how everyone was just like, bro, like what the fuck is this season? Like this season is just not it. And the producers said, oh, gotcha. We will be course correcting. I'm glad that they listened and didn't just like double down on what they were doing originally. I don't know if it was always the plan to have the girls do that, but part of me feels like it was not. I think they saw that those girls were like gonna be insanely loyal and Casa would have been a bust. And so we have to do something. They had to up the stakes and they had to keep the audience engaged because they were losing us. Like there was a general consensus that like Casa is not it, or not Casa, but this season is not it. And so I'm glad that they were able to course correct and like figure some shit out there. But making those girls sit there and watch that, I would have jumped in the ocean. I would have jumped in the ocean, unfortunately. But those girls needed to see that. They needed to see how no good they men is because they would have been in Casa just like sitting there with their legs and arms crossed and they wouldn't have paid none of them guys even in a millisecond of attention. Wouldn't have paid them any attention. And so they needed to see that to at least, even if they aren't going to go full in, they needed to see that to at least be open to having conversations in Casa. So I'm glad that the producers did that. I am sorry that the girls had to witness that, but you got to do what you got to do for the sake of reality television, for the sake of entertainment, baby. This is TV at the end of the day. I know these are real people, but this is also TV. So they do what they had to do. I also think we need to talk about how the guys always get the best looking girls for Casa. Not the best looking because the Villa girls are beautiful. That's not what I mean. But like they always get beautiful ass girls for Casa. But then the girls always get every season and never fails. The girls get looking guys for Casa. I'm like, what's that about? Like, is that just proof that women are just more beautiful than men are attractive? I don't know. But regardless, half of those guys where I was like, okay, well, this was a choice. But I am, like I said, I am also a personality girl. So if the personality is there, I get it. With that said, I have been yapping for 2.5 hours. And so we are wrapping this up. We're wrapping this up. Yeah. With that said, Love Island it's been a journey. It's been an interesting journey. This has not been my favorite season, but depending on how things wrap up, it can redeem itself. It's starting to redeem itself already. So we'll see how things pan out for the rest of the season. Oh, I guess I need to do Casa predictions. We're gonna do this really quickly. We're just gonna go through the couples. Okay, obviously Jen and Caleb are bringing somebody back, because that would be crazy not to. Do they even have a choice to not bring somebody back? They probably don't. They probably do, but it would be stupid of them not to. So we know they're gonna bring someone back. Corbin is recoupling. There's no question about that. Kenzie's recoupling. There's no question about that. Melanie is not recoupling. Unless Corey can get through to her on how much of a liar Sincere is, but I don't think he will be able to. I think she'll hear that. She might receive half of it and just be like, oh, well, we're gonna have to have a conversation when he comes back. But that's her man, her man, her man. She's sticking to her man. I don't see her recoupling. I say like 95% sure that she will not be recoupling. But I would love for her to surprise me, maybe. Sincere's not recoupling. He's gonna do all the bullshit that he's doing, have his fun, and then he's gonna go right back to his Mel and be like, "Oh, it's always you, Mel. It's always you. It's always you." Whatever. Um, Casey and Anaya. Casey's gonna recouple. Casey's gonna recouple because if he doesn't, movie night is gonna tear his asshole a new one. Like they're gonna tear him a new asshole. And they probably still will, even if he does recouple. But it's gonna be even worse if he doesn't recouple. Especially after you've already admitted that you feel like you have nothing in common with Anaya. Going back to that would be stupid. It would be stupid. So Casey's gonna recouple. Anaya, I don't know. Anaya's hard because I feel like she could like Carl, but she also won't shut up about how much she misses Casey. So I don't know. If she's smart, she'll recouple, but she might be a lover girl. Well, she clearly is a lover girl, but we'll see how strong that lover girl is. How strong of a lover girl she is. If she's smart, she'll recouple, but I'm not sure. I feel like it's 50-50 with her. Kata and Zach, neither of them are recoupling. First of all, racist girl got sent home, so he definitely can't recouple with anybody else. And then, he also just didn't really like her that much, which was clearly obvious. He kissed her, but he didn't like her that much. And then Kata, her man, her man, her man. She's not coming up off of Zach. She's gonna have the cute little conversations with Shay, but she's not coming up off of Zach. So they're good. They're safe. That's a Final Four couple. There are some couples you just know are a Final Four couple, and Zach and Kata are a Final Four couple. And then Trinity and Bryce. Neither of them are recoupling. Thank God. Thank God. So yeah, those are my Love Island thoughts right now. And we will debrief again maybe next week. It won't be this long, but I'll share thoughts of next week too, whatever's happening there. Well, not next week because next week's episode will be the interview. So in 2 weeks, which will be like the week before the finale, I think. So I'll make my predictions. Whatever. We'll talk in 2 weeks about Love Island again. Any housekeeping? Like I told y'all, next week we will have a guest. Y'all already know Ashley Ricards, the Jenna Hamilton, the queen of MTV, will be here. I'm saying we'll be here. But y'all will get that episode. That was a cute conversation. I hope you guys enjoy that. Is there anything else? No, I think that's about it. I think that's it. Like I haven't been talking for 2.5 hours, but whatever. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to cut this down. This might just be a super fucking long episode. It's so funny. I started this episode saying, "Oh, I don't have much to talk about. It's gonna be a little 45-minute, maybe hour episode." 2.5 hours fucking later. Good lord. Y'all need to just tell me to shut up sometimes, okay? Just be like, Brianna, please shut the fuck up. Okay? I promise I won't get mad if you just tell me to do that. I might even thank you. Um, and obviously, I mean, not obviously. Honestly, though, I will say this will probably be a little like quick to edit because I don't really plan to cut that much out. And y'all don't know this because I edit it out. But there are times when I record where I will talk and then I'll be in the middle of a sentence and I'll just stop talking and I'll just stare into space for a good 10, 15 minutes. Is that normal? No, it's not. I don't know if like my brain has to like restart, shut down and restart. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why that happens. Um, yeah, I don't really feel like dissecting that because that might be a deeper issue. That's that dissociation kicking in, and I don't feel like investigating that any deeper. So, but yeah, I didn't do that a lot this episode, so hopefully it won't take me long to edit here, to edit this one. As I say every week, follow the pod, follow me on socials at No I'm Obsessed Pod, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Threads. Anywhere you can tweet, type, text, rant, anywhere there's a we're everywhere. We're everywhere. Just follow us everywhere. All right, bitches. Enjoy the rest of your day. It was good talking to y'all. We'll talk soon. Bye. I just gave you guys 4 hiccups.